Okay, as promised in the video, I'll let my video speak for itself. I will tell you up front here that there's two videos, and I'm going to play them back to back on my computer. And the reason there's two videos is because the battery in my Canon Sure Shot camera ran low, and so I had to stop, change batteries, and then so I started up again. So therefore, there are two, and I'm pointing to them. There's two files now documenting the non-working ESC on my skipper. It's today 11/22/15, 1 of 2, 2 of 2, and I'm clicking on the first one, and it'll start playing. Okay, making this video for. I know Hobby King will ask for it. I haven't even done the live chat yet. I'm going to document the problem I've got with my Skipper XL. It's a new plane. I'll give you all the details after I've shown you what the problem is. I'll include the order number, the date I ordered it, the date I received it, the day I started assembling it, when it was completed, and when I did the maiden. And then I'll tell you about yesterday when I tried to show it to show it to the grandchildren of the lady who comes over and helps my wife clean the house. So anyhow, without any further talking, I'm going to start. I'll tell you a little bit. I'll tell you as I'm going through exactly what I'm doing. And I've got a Futaba 6EX transmitter, and I've got a Futaba compatible receiver, as you can see right here at my left hand. Everything is in. What I've done is just pulled everything out of the plane so that it's very visible to you, and I can show you exactly what has happened or what doesn't happen. And then I'm also going to, as soon as I show you that the plane does not work, then I've got a spare 30 amp ESC, which I'll connect up and it will work. The only difference between, of course, let me set the transmitter down a second. The ESC that's in the plane it's a 40 amp, and it does have the capability of a reverse function on the auxiliary channel. As you can see, on a normal ESC, there's only the leads going out to the one lead going out to the throttle in the receiver. But this one has a second wire going out, and it's going into my channel 5, which is just so happens to be the auxiliary channel on my Futaba, and that allows the motor to go backwards. If you get up against some reeds or something like that, you're on the other side of the lake, a small pond, and you're stuck over there, you're nosed in, well, you can put it in reverse. All I have to do is to change channel 5. I flip the, I hope you can see this. Let me see if that transmitter is actually in the frame of this. Yes, it is. Okay, so I can actually, if I get into a situation where the plane is nosed into a bank, I can flip channel 5 switch. Once at the point, the prop has to not be moving. It has to be dead still, and then you flip the switch. In the instructions, it very clearly said, don't change it while the motor is actually running. So anyhow, that said, so this ESC is, I'm going to prove to you that it is non-functional, and this is what I'm asking to be sent to me, a replacement exactly like this, because I definitely want the reverse function. And like I said, this ESC that I'm going to show you when I plug it in, that the motor will work, but the problem is this doesn't have a reverse function on it. As you can see, it's only got the one lead coming out, which I'll plug into the channel 3 of my receiver, which is the throttle channel. Okay, I've got the transmitter turned on. I'm going to plug power to the start the power to the ESC that came with the plane. And here we go. I'm plugging in now, and I'll show you exactly what it does. Here the motor just starts beep 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 beep. When it actually should go beep 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 beep. It never syncs up, and you can see the receiver green light, so we're totally connected, and I can use the transmitter. I think, let's see. Yeah, see the rudder. The rudder works. You can see. I hope you can see it moving. Elevator. Let's see if I got it on high rates. Yeah, there's high rates. So the elevator works. The rudder works. And the ailerons work. So everything works except the motor. And as you can see, I'll give it throttle, nothing. The motor does nothing. It just sits there and beep, 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 beeps. Okay, so the non-functioning part of this plane has now been documented, and I'm going to set the transmitter down. I'm going to turn it off. Well, I got to unplug the battery, which I now have done, and I'm going to turn the transmitter off, which I've now done. And now what I'm going to do, in place of the 40 amp ESC that came with the plane, I'm going to unplug it and plug it from the motor leads. The red, actually it's all three wires coming out of the motor are red. They do have, oh, come on. Oh. Okay, finally got that out. That was tight. Okay, so that's out. Now all I got to do is unplug channel 3, this throttle cable. Oh wait, that's the auxiliary. I'm sorry. Okay, here's the throttle cable right here. It says THRO on it. So I'm pulling that out, and I'm also going to pull out the auxiliary channel thing. So this receiver, this ESC is completely out of the plane. Now I'm going to, and I don't care which 3 wires I hook up here. I get my motor wires dug out of the plane here. Okay, here's the yellow, black, and a red, and I'm just plugging them up to this. I'll do it. Try to move around so you can see. I'm plugging it in here. So this spare ESC that I had hanging on my wall out in the garage is now connected to the motor. And now all I've got to do is plug the throttle pickup from the ESC into the channel 3 of my receiver, which I'm doing now. Okay, that is now it's just as if this was the setup exactly as it would have come from the factory, but with my replacement or my spare ESC from the garage. Again, the bad ESC is laying off the side here. Now this time, okay, I'm turning the transmitter back on, which I have done, and I got the skipper model up, so that's good. And now I'm going to plug the power into the plane, and here it goes. And listen to the motor, because you might hear the servos zeroing out, but then you'll hear the motor go beep, 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 beep. See, there you go. Beep, 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 beep. Just the way it should be. Now I got a little servo noise here somewhere. Something is there. It's quit. Okay, now I'm going to do exactly the same thing that I did before. I'll hold the back of the plane up. We're still on high rate, so you can see real good. Here's the rudder. Rudder still works. Elevator still works. Ailerons working great. And now I will turn the throttle, push the throttle up just a little bit. And there he goes. And it just runs. It's perfect. Now, like I said, if I had this ESC in it and it was working, then I would be able to shut the throttle off. And I don't know which way this. Okay, it would normally be in the up position. I've got a little note I put up here on the top of my transmitter that reverse is down. So with the motor running like that, and I was up against a bank on the other side of the pond, I couldn't get to the boat or get to the plane, then of course I just shut the power off, and I'd flip the switch down and turn the power back on, and the prop would be going in reverse, and it would back the plane out of the problem that it was in. Then you could back it out far enough, turn it around, and bring it back home to you. So that documents the actual problem with my skipper. Now I'm going to give you all the pertinent information. But first, let me unplug the battery. I don't want to somehow get my hand up here and get it into the prop, which I don't plan to be near it. Okay, the battery is disconnected, and I'm now turning my Futaba 6EX transmitter off. You can see on the screen there the skipper model, and it turned it off. Now I'll lay it aside, put it over here on the TV, and now here is, I'm going to just put this in front of you and then tell you what it says, because you probably have a hard time reading my writing. Anyhow, the order number is 2001-2577-706. I ordered this skipper on October the 25th. I received it here in Columbus, Indiana on October the 30th. I started the assembly of the Skipper XL on the same day I received it, October 30th. And it took me, October 31, 2, 3. It took me until November 2nd. It took me 3 days to build it. Even though it wasn't that much of a build, I actually spent about close to 2 days. I didn't spend the whole 2 days on this, but I spent a couple of hours each of 2 days, putting the decals on. And I'm kind of anal about the decals, and if you were in here looking at this plane real close, you would see that every decal that I put on, like this little point right here, if you look on the other side, it's directly across from it. And I guess what I'm trying to say is one side mirrors the other side. I'm very meticulous about that. I don't like to have something off. Up at the front of the plane on the top, there's a design. It kind of looks like a bullet, and I had to get that just properly positioned, and had to change it 2 or 3 times before I was happy. I finally got it. Everything is just perfect. Okay, so I completed it on 11/2, and then I was busy and doing other things, and maybe because of the weather, I didn't actually give it its maiden until November 15th, 13 days later. After that was over, it was successful, and I brought the plane home, fixed a place in my garage where I could hang it up, and it hung up in my garage till yesterday, Saturday, November 21st, and what happened was the young lady who comes over and helps my wife clean the house. She actually cleans the house, but my wife's obviously doing a few things too. But anyhow, when she came over, Kim, and she brought her 2 grandchildren along, she was picking something up. Actually, she was picking something up, dropping something off first and then picking something else up. But she was dropping off my thread locker because I needed it. I'd loaned it to her, and she needed it to do something at her home. And I needed it back here because of my Super Hawaiian powerboat. I had the transmission out, putting another pinion gear in it, and replacing the pinion gear. And when I put the transmission and motor back in the boat, the 2 left side screws just didn't seem to, they just wouldn't tighten up. So I needed that thread locker to put on to. So anyhow, that was the reason Kim came over with, and then she brought her grandchildren along because she knew I had the planes and everything, and I expect she was probably hoping I would entertain them for a little while, which I did. Anyhow, the grandchildren came over, and I was showing them my planes. I showed them an AT-6 Texan, which I purchased from Nitro Planes just recently. And it's not a bad thing or anything like that. I'm going to get to the amount of money I've spent with Hobby King over the years, and I think you'll be impressed. Anyhow, I showed her the AT-6 Texan. I actually bought a SMS from Hobby King. It's called a sound module system, and it's mounted in my AT-6 Texan, and it provides, whenever you give it throttle, then you get the authentic, at least it sounds pretty authentic to me, engine noise. It's kind of like a Merlin engine starting up. So it's really cool. It's really, I'm very happy with it. Anyhow, when I finally got around to the skipper, I was going to show them, and quite proud of it, how you could stop the prop rotation and then go the other direction. You know, most planes, the props just go one way, and this is my first plane that I ever had a reverse function on it. Now, I know that the guys that run the little remote control cars, they have reverse on theirs. They have a ESC that has the reverse function also. But this is the first plane I've ever had that had a reverse function. Obviously, you're not going to, any other plane that I've had, it takes off from the ground, flies around, and lands, and it never wants to back up. At least if it backs up, then you are in big trouble. Anyhow, so I finally got the skipper down and plugged the battery in, and lo and behold, got the same thing that you heard at the start of this video, and that was all the servos, the ailerons, the elevator, and the rudder work fine, but when I plugged the battery in, everything worked fine except the motor started that beep 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 stuff, and I couldn't do anything with it. So, but later, after Kim and her grandchildren left, then I actually changed the receiver first. Thought maybe that might be it. That was the easiest thing to change because it was readily accessible right here. That didn't do anything, so I'll move the camera for the first time here. Matter of fact, I'll just hold it now. I had it sitting here on my little table that I use in my den when I'm doing stuff like this, and also this is where I kind of put planes together in this room. And I'll back off a little bit so you can see the whole work area, the area that I'm in. I'll just back right out of the room completely and then come back in. Okay, so this is our den, and we got a bookcases over there, my comfortable chair here, an old TV back here, but it works. I've got a mini TiVo on it, and so I get it's connected to. Okay, making this video for, I know Hobby King will ask for it. Okay, that's the end of the first video, and that's the end of the first video, and I'll get it down and start the second piece up. Like I mentioned at the end of this first video, the reason it stopped was my battery ran out. This is a video you just watched, and now we're going into the last portion of it. Now, it's not as long as the first.
but here it goes.
Okay, what happened there was my battery ran out of juice. So I had to put a new battery in and, of course, start a second video. And because I don't have a lot of video photographer skills on my computer, what I'm going to do is to play the first video. I'm going to load the first video and this second video to my computer, and I will play it back while using the camera, video camera. It's a Canon, and I will set it up and re-record both shows so that I end up with still one video to send to Hobby King. Okay, and so anyhow, what I was telling you about. This is TV, and this is my work area, and a table that I got, and then right around real close here is my, I guess you call it a work. It's a workstation, although it's just my home, and that's where I've got the computer, brother's printer, my morning coffee sitting there, keeping warm, and the cabinet full of my contract, my warranty papers and all that stuff. Down there is all my stuff, and this file right here, this file in front, these are all the orders, not from Hobby King, but it's all the orders from day one when I started in the hobby. And this second file back here is orders of everything else that I've ordered, like things for the house and doorbells and batteries for the phones and all that kind of stuff. Okay, kind of got off track there a little bit, but anyhow, I'll continue on with this. And I was telling you how the last I told was that I was going to show the plane and how the backup function worked on the motor to Kim's grandchildren, and then I showed you the entire room here. And then the last thing I was going to tell you was I started my first order with Hobby King. My first order with Hobby King was April the 4th, 2012. And since then, in the following 3 years and 7 months, I've actually ordered $1,699.56 worth of product from you guys. And that is out of a total of $6,554.05. I calculated the percentage, and the $1,699.56 is 26% of the total. So you're getting a quarter of all my business, and I like your product, and even more, I had a really good experience back not too long ago. Matter of fact, with this same plane, I had trouble getting it ordered, and the reason was somehow there was nothing wrong with the plane back then. But the problem was that I was working with a guy by the name of Rob in your tech area. I guess I communicated with him with RC Discuss, and I assume I'm probably going to be doing the same thing, getting this video to somebody. But again, I'm going to have to do a live chat, I realize that, and then let them give me the instructions of what they want me to do to get this video submitted and get a new ESC. And again, I can't stress this enough. I want whoever does this to make doggone sure that this is the exact ESC that I get as a replacement. I don't want something else. I want exactly this thing, or something that does exactly the same thing. It's got to have the reverse function. That's all there is to it. That's bottom line. I'll accept nothing less. And if it's not possible to get a ESC replacement exactly like this, then I will want to return the entire plane. I mean, that's the bottom line. But I don't think it'll come to that, because, like I said, I have recently with Rob, I had a really great experience. He worked great with me. very professional, and you can actually see a difference compared to 2 years ago. Hobby King's customer support has gotten considerably better, in my opinion. And I've talked to a few guys in the club, Bartholomew County Remote Control Flyers Club here in Columbus, Indiana. We're actually, just for a little information, we're located about 40 miles south of Indianapolis. You might not know where Columbus, Indiana is, but I'm surely you've heard of Indianapolis, where the Indianapolis 500 is run each May, which I've attended many times. But anyhow, that's neither here nor there. Anyhow, I have ordered 26% of all the monies I've spent have been Hobby King, but that wouldn't make any difference. If this skipper was my very first order, I would expect nothing less than what I expect in being a loyal customer. I don't really anticipate any hassles with anybody. I think that once this video is viewed, I think that they'll see that they're all of a sudden, why the ESC went bad, I don't know, because it was working just fine for my maiden flight, and all I did was took the battery out of it, I brought it home, and I hung it up. And the next thing, I put a battery back in it, and the ESC won't work. So don't ask me why. I am not an electronics expert. I guess the only thing, as a layman, the only thing I could possibly say about that, and the reason for it, is shit happens. Other than that, can't be anything but. It's just something that happened. I don't know why. You probably don't know why. The only way it's going to get corrected, though, is for you to get another ESC in the mail as quick as you can. Exactly, again, I stress, exactly like the one that comes in the Skipper XL. Again, I don't want anything but that. I love the plane. I love the looks of it. I love how it takes off and flies, and I certainly like how it can take off of water, grass, sand, asphalt, concrete, whatever. I suppose it could take off of gravel. Yeah, no reason why I wouldn't. Anyhow, okay, so I'm going to, I think I've covered all the information. Again, the order number, I'll just repeat it and nothing else. The order number is 2001-2577-706. And my name is John Vinson, V-I-N-S-O-N. My email address is jjvinson@comcast.net. My phone number is 812-376-3709. My address is 3865 Offshore Drive in Columbus, Indiana. And that zip code is 47203. And I believe that is it. Like I said, what I'm going to do is to load both of these videos. The first part before the battery went dead, and this second part that I'm just wrapping up right now, I'll load both of those to my computer, and then I'm going to set this camera up on a tripod right in front of the computer, and I will play back both of these videos so that I can create a single video that I can supply to Hobby King under the direction of the chat person that I speak to. So with that said, thank you very much for your consideration. Not your consideration, I know you're going to do the right thing. And I hope you have a nice day, and I'm having a great weekend. As soon as I get this plane going again, it'll even be greater. So anyhow, I'm shutting the video off right now. I'm going to turn it around and check that the recording is still going on, and it is, thank God. I don't have to do it again. Okay, I'm going to press the button and I'll say goodbye right now. Goodbye. Okay, what happened there was my battery ran out of juice.
All right,
so I had to put a new battery in.
Let me get this. Okay, I got that second video stopped. I'm back live again, and so the overall, the entire video that you'll be watching here, that you have just watched, consisted of two parts. Two parts because the battery ran down, went out of juice on the first part, and the camera quit. So that's the reason I had to then continue on. And then I decided, well, I wanted only one video to contend with, so that's why I sat down at my computer and played back both videos while recording it again, while recording the recording, so to speak. And anyhow, so now the entire video is one video, the whole describing of the problem and giving you all the information you possibly could want, and probably more than you want. But anyhow, that's it. Like I said, I'm back live here now, and I am going to finish up this video, and I then will do a live chat with Hobby King and find out exactly what I need to do next to get resolution to my problem. So with that said, I'm going to say goodbye and see you later. So goodbye.